Where is home? When I was 10, I asked myself that question a lot. On one Tuesday afternoon, I was sure the answer was the 8th floor bathroom stall. In moments like that, my life felt like a chapter I wished I could skip. 1:17 p.m. It was recess at school, and instead of running towards the playground, I was running away from it. Running up the stairs, my heart pounding, past classrooms and clusters of classmates. Their laughter spilling into the hallway, like it belonged there more than I did. I could have been sitting with them, laughing, pretending that being there felt natural. But deep down, I felt like I didn't have any real friends. Like no one would truly notice if I was there or if I wasn't. The voice in my head kept whispering, "Don't say the wrong thing, don't be too quiet, don't be too strange." So instead, I went straight to that one stall on the 8th floor. I locked the door and sat on the closed toilet seat, my feet dangling above the floor. The stall was small and cold and echoing, but in that moment, it felt safer than any circle of friends I knew, safer than any group where I always felt one step away from being left out. I remember staring at that crack under the door, thinking, why does hiding here feel more like home than being with them? Back then, home was my blanket, pulled over my head like a shield. It felt like slipping between the pages of a book, or hiding in the white space, where no one could underline my flaws or circle the parts of me that didn't quite fit the story yet. Every day, I edited myself for other people. I softened my voice so it wouldn't sound too much. I watched my reflection and turned into a quieter, neater version of myself. Someone easier to like. Then one day, a girl sat next to me at lunch. "Is the seat taken?" she asked. I shook my head and said no. She still had paint on her fingers. She didn't introduce herself or choose her words with the practiced ease I always invade. She just started talking about nothing important, about the weird smell in the art room, and whether she should add more red into her painting. My first instinct was to edit myself again. I rehearsed my laughs. I overthought every reply. I tried not to take up too much space. But she didn't flinch when I forgot to be careful. She laughed at my real jokes, the ones that slipped out unplanned. She stayed when my words tangled and I had to start again. But once I said something I immediately regretted, too honest, too strange, too me, I braced myself for the silence that usually followed those moments. But then she said, "That's actually kind of brilliant. Nobody has ever said that about the unedited version of me before." It seemed like something small, but to me, it was the first time I felt like a full sentence, not a side note in someone else's story. 1:02 p.m. Noise everywhere. People shouting, swapping snacks, arguing over something silly. I was in the middle of it. My chair pulled close to that group. And suddenly I realized I hadn't thought about the 8th floor bathroom stall at all. Same school, same hallway, same timetable. But the story felt different because the person sitting next to me had changed everything. The question came back, softer this time. Where is home? When I was 10, I thought home was a room where I could close the door and disappear. A place to hide from connection. Because connection felt like the thing most likely to hurt me. I had it backwards. I can't go back to 1:17 p.m. and pull that scared kid out of the bathroom stall. I can't reach into that chapter and tell her, "You're not broken. You're just waiting for the right person to turn the page." Those moments are written, but they aren't the ending. Because home isn't a setting. Home is when someone sees the unedited version of you. The too honest moments, the tangled words, the real jokes, and chooses to stay. Home is connection. And if I can help even one person leave their bathroom stall a little sooner, to stop editing themselves long enough to be truly seen, that's the chapter I'm writing now. Thank you.